Hey guys, it's Brandon, your GTA home guy. Why shouldn't you use the listing agent to represent you as a buyer? Let's talk about that. First, I want to look at the reasons people might be tempted to call the listing agent to actually show them the unit and then put in the offer. Number one, they could just be lazy. We'll call the listing agent, the number's right there, we'll just dial and get them to show us. Second, they may just want to save money, which we'll get into a lot more in this video. Maybe you're a first-time buyer or a first-time buyer in Ontario and you don't realize that you can have your own representation. I know. Here's a really good one. You don't want a realtor who's going to hound you, somebody that's going to just keep calling you relentlessly and making your search such a pain in the butt. You don't want your full-time job to turn into dodging this realtor, do you? If it's a competing offer, it can give you the edge. Now we're going to talk about why those things aren't exactly true and what we can do about them. I'm going to demystify the whole process and let you in on a few really solid tips to keep in mind. First off, if you're being lazy, just try a little harder. This is a really large purchase, and sacrificing all of your rights or somebody to represent those rights can really put you in a negative position right from the start. Now, for those of you who think you could save money by going directly to the listing agent, here are some really important facts that you may not be aware of. The listing agent may not be willing to cut their commission to give you a deal. That's a contract between the listing agent and the seller. They may not want to renegotiate that. The seller has to also be okay with that renegotiation and allotting you that money in the sale. The other thing that you might not consider at first glance is, let's take an example of a $100,000 list price. What if that seller was willing to take $95,000, but after this whole cut your commission thing, they only let you have it for $97,000, saying, okay, well, we'll take $100,000 and we'll lop off $3,000, which is the one side of the commission. And then they end up pocketing $2,000 more than they would have given it to you if you had a buyer representative just nailing them down on price. The listing agent also set the price. So what is the likelihood that they're going to be able to go to that seller and say, hey, guess what? I'm going to negotiate really hard for this buyer because, yeah, we overpriced the listing and they want me to cut my commission, which is we're going to give money back to them too. No. What usually happens is the price will stay close to where the actual list price was. There's not really a bunch more negotiating that happens after you chop off some of the commission. The listing agent may have a lot more rapport with the seller than you realize. This seller might be a long-time client of theirs, an excellent referral source, someone they don't want to piss off. So what does that mean for you? Well, if you're expecting an equal, fair negotiation, having that seller representative represent you as well can definitely be a strong conflict of interest. How do you think they can negotiate with themselves? I'll give you a minute. Tick-tock, tick-tock, tick-tock. They won't. To say that they would be a fair and even mutual party in that agreement, well, in an ideal world that would be great. But in reality, what are the chances that you're going to get a fair shake at this? I totally understand not wanting to have a realtor hound you and harass you. That's the exact reason why I hate car shopping or shopping for any large item. You just don't need your full-time job being avoiding that realtor. That's why you don't want to call every listing agent and just go through them, because you will have your phone ringing off the hook. Why don't you select somebody who you trust? Vet them, make sure that they know the area, know the market, know exactly how to do their job, and that they can help fully inform you. That person is going to be key and crucial, and they're going to make it so that your process isn't uncomfortable right to the end. The other benefit is that if you select your realtor, you have your full buyer representative working for you, trying to protect your best interests and not maybe neglecting to say something. Hypothetical scenario here, but let's say there's a big ding in the floor. That listing agent wants to double lend this property so bad. What if they're just standing in the way of you seeing it? Not saying that anyone's going to do that, but is it really outside the realm of possibility? You decide. Last point to talk about is it could help you in competing offers, or could it? No, it can actually really work against you in competing offer situation. Because if you go to the other agent and you're trying to get them to represent you, and there's a bunch of other offers that are coming in as well, that agent doesn't want to get sued. So they try and play things incredibly safe. They might also pass you off to another agent in their office who is going to represent you. Why is that an issue? Well, let's look at it this way. That representative who is representing the seller is going to choose who you're going to. That person then has no knowledge of the property likely and is just negotiating an offer based on what you say. Can you see how somebody representing your full best interests who viewed the property with you could really isolate exactly what you need to be concerned about in that offer situation? The key to winning in a competing offer situation is not going to the listing agent. It's having a buyer representative who is on target, knows what they're doing, knows how to analyze the stats figures, and also is very competent at building rapport with the other agent. Quite honestly, the person who pays the most or has the most attractive offer overall is going to win. It doesn't take a listing agent to give you some inside tip, because if that happened, there would be a lawsuit, guaranteed. Well, that's it for today, guys. If you have any questions, reach out anytime, any social, GTAHomeGuy. And also, if you can, like, subscribe, thumbs up, do all the cool things that you can do on the internets. Why not? They're there. They're free. I'll give them to you for free. Just keep on pressing that button. Long-time client. They know the area, they know, guys, beeping at everything.